Hello. Can you disconnect and log in again?
Hello, Subhash.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello. I can hear you now.
Hey, hello, Subhash. Sorry. Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, Subhash.
I can hear you.
Thank you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay then. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Subhash. I'm able to see.
We'll discuss about declarative processing. And that will see declarative expression rules. What is the declarative processing? So far, whatever the rules we discussed, those rules come under procedural processing. So procedural processing means we need to create the rule. That may be any rule, whatever we discussed so far. It may be data transforms, it may be sections, it may be flow actions, it may be anything. And we need to call it somewhere else to see the effect. So if I just create the data transform, if I don't call it anywhere, there is no use of the data transform. It's just like a dead code. So you need to call that rule somewhere else to see the effect. So that is called procedural processing. You need to create the rule and you need to call the rule somewhere else at required position, at required place to see the impact of that rule. But coming to declarative processing, you just need to create the rule. You no need to call the rule. System will decide when to call the rule. So you're saying we just need to create the rule. System will decide when to call the rule. So how system will decide? Based on some configuration things we are doing on the declarative rules. So system will decide, system will call the rule. Then what is the advantages of using this one? The main advantage here is the maintenance will be very easier. How maintenance will be very easier? Because we are not referring any rule anyway. So let's say here, let's take one data transform rule. So I refer the data transform rule in 10 places, and then for some reason I need to delete the data transform rule. So I deleted it. But still it has some references in 10 places. What about them? Your system will throw an error message saying that so and so message, so and so rule is not available because you deleted it. That means that whenever whenever you delete something, so you also need to refer the referenced rules and delete from their references as well. That is a maintenance cost. But here, because you are not referring anywhere, you are just creating the rule and you are not referring anywhere to call it. Even if you delete it, there won't be any impact, and it's very easy to delete. You don't have to refer the references, but we are not calling it anywhere. So that is why maintenance will become very easier. And then coming to development perspective also is very easier. So if you run the data transform, you need to decide. So when you write data transfer, you need to see where I can call it. So whether the context is there or not, the context is missing or not. So you need to think in a lot of ways, and you need to write the logic. But here it's running outside the context. Outside the context, we are not calling it anyway system deciding. So even for developers, it's easier to write the logic and do that. But the downside of this one is performance. Your performance of your application will be reduced because we are not calling it anyway. System will spend a lot of resources and lot of your CPU time, takes a lot of CPU time to do the things. That is why the performance will be reduced. Okay. So now we will see, I mean there are some rules which come under this declarative processing. One of those rules is declare expressions. So we will discuss other rules as well in the advanced lessons. And now we will see declare expressions. So first let me complete the exercise, then you will get some idea what is happening, and we will get into the theory part.
Hello, Subha, you are in mute.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, yeah, I'm not speaking anything.
Okay.
So let me run the case. So by using this declare expressions, I want to calculate the expiration date, warranty expiration date. So for warranty expiration date, so we have two things. We have warranty types are there. One is standard warranty and one is extended warranty. So in the standard warranty means it is 1 year warranty. So from the purchase date, your 1 year date, 1 year will be the your standard warranty, and extended means it is a 2-year warranty. Your application, no, what is your Satyam? Okay. So we have kept this one. Let me go to validation rule. Let me remove this. I'm just removing validation rule so that I don't need to worry about validation. So let me add one product. Submit. I added one product as a client. So one subcase will be created. Review it. So here we are adding the purchase date and I'm giving the warranty. So by using these two fields, I want to calculate the expiration date, warranty expiration date. So for this reason, for this purpose, I want to calculate it, and I want to do it from the declarative rules called declarative processing. So for that, first let me create one. Let me create one property in the product claim. Warranty expiration date. And whenever claim is raised, let's say I want to get that one as well. So we're creating claim case, and I want to store the date as well. Claim date. So whenever case is created, that is a claim date. Date time, create and close. I want to set this value in the transform. Well, case is created. I want to take the current date time, claim date. And I forget this one as well. I need to So now when I queue purchase and warranty date, I want to display the expiration date. So if you want to create a declarative expression rule, there are two ways. One way is right click on the property name for which you want to create the declarative expression. So you can right click like this. Define expression is there. Click on the property, define expression, or else you can click anywhere on the class and go to decision category, and then you can see expression will be there, regular expression. Both are same. The only difference between these two is here the target property is pre-populated. You do it from the property. Or do it outside the property, nothing will come. So you need to manually give property name expression for which you are creating an expression. anything is fine. Calculate expiration date. So I want to write the conditions based on the warranty type. So let me open the property. On the property form, we create some local list, standard and extended. So if the warranty type is standard, so what is the expiration date? So from purchase date, it is 1 year. So value of let's take a lot of functions are available. So add to date. So I want to add the days, number of days. Add to purchase date, or else you can also use different functions are there. Like you can use there are a lot of functions, and you can check one more condition, and purchase date has value. So warranty type should be a standard, and the purchase date should be some value. Then only it has some impact. So here you can directly use this function, because if it is I'm saying 1 year, 1 year means you can give 365 days. That is also fine. Or else you can also use some functions or some other functions, free form expression. So you can use this way, and it will give you expression builder. So you can use expression builder. It should display, it's not displaying. Yeah. Wait. Where is the expression builder? The icon is not coming here. Okay, so what I will do is I will go for a transform. From there I will open. So you can use any of these functions. Let's say I want to add 1 year, add calendar. So add calendar function is there, that also will do the same thing. So any of the functions you can use it directly, you can use that one, or else you can use this add calendar function. Add CALENDAR. So if you read it like this, you can see the main purpose of this one is add the given years, months and weekdays, hours, minutes, everything to the time date passed on this one. So here this is labs. I will drag it. So the date, the date is purchase date. Month, years is 1 year, and remaining things are 0. Because I don't want to add anything. You can do like this, but that is also same thing. This is the syntax you need to write. You can use it here, because here expression builder is not coming. That is why I opened somewhere else and copied here. So you can do like this, or else you can do other way as well. But anything is fine. So if the warranty type is extended, I'm just again copying the values to just eliminate the typo errors. And here I want to use the same function. I am giving 2 years. And here I want to add one more condition. It is, you can use any of the function again. The functions are there. Property reference has a value. Purchase date. So warranty type is standard is this one, then this is the calculation. The warranty type is this one, this is the calculation. If it is not selected anything, then the claim date will be your warranty expiration date. That is why we calculate claim date nothing but whenever you create the claim, that is your expiration date. That means that your warranty is expired. Your warranty is expired. So now I need to display the same value on the screen. So let's design the UI for that as well. So I just created the rule, but I am not referring that rule anywhere. So if you see, I just created the rule. This is the rule for this, but I am not calling it anywhere. But still you can see the execution will work fine. So this is, get one more layout, and I want to use warranty expiration date. This is date time basically, and here I want to use say read only. This is just a date I want to keep, like something like this. And whenever you change this value, I want to refresh the section so that the value will be stored in the clipboard in the memory. On change, refresh. Let me refresh the screen. So let me select some value here. You can see, but this is coming in different format. The format is not good. Let me value is correctly coming, but value you can see some value is coming, but how it's coming, I'm not doing anything here. Whenever I give property value, you can see some value is coming, but it's not coming in the proper representation, but that is fine. So you can see 2018 1011 is coming because we selected 1 plus 2, we are giving 2-year extension. That is why you can see 2018 is coming. When I select standard 1 year, you can see October 11th 2017 is coming. Now it's coming work perfect. Here you are getting different value October 11th 2018, but here you are getting October 11th 2017. Right, that means that our expression is correctly calculated. This is 1 year expired is there, this is 2-year expiration is there, this is expiration date for your product, but I didn't call it anyway. So this is calculating. I just referred the section in the property, and then I just created the rule. I'm not calling it anyway. But who is calling it? System is deciding. System is calling the rule. System is calling this rule. That is why the expression date is coming correctly. So how the system is calling? So we are not calling it anyway, but system is called, that is called declarative processing. So system will decide when to call the rule. How will system will decide? Based on the change tracking that we are configuring in the declare expression. Change tracking. The change tracking, we have two concepts. The expression, so the expression means we are doing some logic there, we are building some logical logic there, and then that is calculated. That is the name is given as expression declare expression. So while calculating also we have two types of concepts here. So this is the target. If you see here, this is the target where you are saving the output is the target. So backward chaining is called or forward chaining. Forward chaining means if you are calculating target whenever input is changing, is come under forward chaining. Backward chaining means if you calculate target when you refer it, it's come under backward chaining. So here that is the change tracking actually dictating when to call the rule. So for now you can see target property data calculate value. So here you are saying this is the target property. How to calculate the target is the you can configure here. Here we are saying whenever input change. What is the input here? These are the inputs. Whatever you used, whatever the properties you used to calculate the target in the source, those are come under input. So here my input is purchase date and then the warranty type. The warranty type and purchase date are the inputs for me. So I am giving a system saying that calculate these values whenever there is a change in the warranty type and the purchase date. That are the inputs. So whenever we are calculating the target based on the input change, so this option will come under forward chaining. So this is, I mean, interviews also people will ask these questions: what is forward, what is backward, and which options come under which category. So because we are calculating whenever input change, we are calculating. So as per our definition, so whenever source is changing, that is come under forward chaining. So it will come under forward chaining. And we have a lot of other options here. When used, if no value present. You need to read the sentence carefully here. When used, if no value present. When used means we are always talking about target, because this section is talking about target. So when used means when you use the target property and by the time if no value present, then only the target property is recalculated. When used, if no value present. That means that if you want to calculate the target only once, this is the perfect option. So this come under backward chaining, because we are calculating the target when you refer it. Here we are not. There is no input change configurations here. So we are saying when used, so you need to refer the target property. When used means when target property is used, if no value present by the time, then only calculate the target. If the property is already there, if it is already calculated, then it won't recalculate again. That means that if you want to calculate only once, then this will be useful. When used, if property is missing, here this is a no value, this is the property missing. There are two different sentences. No value means the value is empty. The value may be there in the clipboard, the property may be there in the clipboard, but the value may not be there. Value may be empty. So when used, property is missing. If the property is missing means if the property is not at all there in the clipboard, in the memory. For some reason if you delete it, then only it will be recalculated whenever used. So whenever you refer the target, if you want to calculate the expression, then go for this. So except the first one, the remaining three are used for the backward chaining, because this is calculated based on the whenever you refer the target. That is why these options come under backward chaining. So this is, I mean, generally if you want to call it procedurally, so we are saying this is a declarative processing. So if you want to refer it procedurally, you can use this one, but that is not recommended. So we don't invoke the declarative expression rules procedurally. That is out of the scope of this functionality, right? So the main motto of using these rules, declarative expression rules, is to call system decide when to call the rule. But when you make it procedural, again the same way you need to refer the rule. Okay, but system is giving that option. You can also, if you want to make it option, you can also make this one. So rule collection is separate rule. If you want to call the rule as part of rule collection, you can do this one. So these are, I mean, these two don't come under any category. These are generic options. But here these are the options about. So we have 4 options. One is input change. This is forward chaining. Remaining is whenever you refer the target, those will be calculated. This is the backward chaining. So when do we go for which one? So what is the guidelines here? So whenever input change is flexible, if the input and if the output on the source is both are on the same page. So here, in our case, we have on both screens. So definitely, it's better to go for input change so that the user experience will be increased. Let's say I will take a simple example as well. There are two. Whenever you add the cart to the item, you can display the total item in the Flipkart or Amazon, right? So that is called whenever input is changing. Or else when you are ordering also you can display. That is called whenever you are referring it. So there are 2 ways. How? So there is no better or best ways. It depends on the requirement. If you want to display the output on the same screen, better go for input change, because user experience will be increased. Let's say if I don't go for whenever input change here, what happens? It may not be calculated properly because I have input in here, so people will play around it, right? People will play around it. What is happening here? So this is flexible. Let's say if you go for insurance code, and there are 50 properties for insurance code to be will be considered for the insurance code calculation, and the customer want to see the change whenever he modify the value. So in that case, let's say 50 properties cannot be in single screen. Let's say there are 5 screens. There are 5 screens, on each screen we have 10 properties. And whenever he gives some value for a property, I want to show in the bottom of the page, I want to show the insurance code, so that user can get to know when I change something, what is happening, what is the output of my changes. So if you want that increases your application user experience. Let's say I want to go for loan EMI calculator. So here whenever you change the values, right, immediately it's showing me some data. So here I'm saying something like this. You can see something is changing, monthly EMI changing. This is the input. We are giving some input here and I'm getting output on the same page. If I don't show monthly EMI here, then what is the use of this screen? There is no use, right? Your actual purpose will be lost. So that is why what exactly you want to achieve, based on that you need to choose the change tracking. If you want to calculate, if you want to display this code, let's say in the same example, insurance code only after entering all the pages, after entering all the values, you can go for different option, because we're not showing on this. I mean, in that case, you just need to calculate only once. You can go for when used if no value present, right? So, but what happens in the same case when you display on the same page? What happens is the expression will be called at least a minimum of 50 times, because whenever you are changing the value, you are recalculating the target. That means that the same rule is executed at least minimum 50 after 50 times, because you are changing 50 properties. That is a minimum 50 times will be executed. If you select only when used no value present, only one time will be called. And when you select whenever used, so how many times you refer the target property, that many times it will be executed. So based on the requirement, we need to choose whichever option is suitable. But I mean, there is no something like something is good, something is bad, everything is equivalent here. But based on the scenarios, we need to choose the target property data. So based on this target property data, system determining internally some agents will be running to keep on monitoring. We call the declarative engine will be there, but the engine will be monitoring the properties whichever we are using in this calculation, and whenever the change is there, system will trigger this ethical expression rule so that we can see the output on the screens. Okay, this is warranty expiration date. So I have warranty expiration date. Now I want to display one more property called is warranty expired. I want to create one more boolean property and I want to display that. Should have date, I want to display the textual property saying that if the warranty is expired or not. So how can I say if the warranty is expired or not? If the warranty expiration date is after my current date, that means that he has the experience. He has the warranty. If the warranty expiration date is is below the current date, that means that your warranty is expired. Your warranty is expired, right? So based on that, we need to build the logic. So let me create one more property called is warranty expired, boolean property. Is warranty expired, set true false. So for this I need to build the logic. So whenever I'm writing data transform here again for building this, we have to configure this one. It is not coming. Set oh shit. Set warrant expiry. Is warrant expired? So I want to compare the dates. So we have functions to compare the dates. So it will return true. So that this compare is return true based on the two properties. Let's see what are the parameters taking. Compare two date time strings and return true if the first date argument is after the second date. The first date should be, we want to keep warrant expired in true, warrant expired yes. When you say warrant expired, if your claim date, is after the current date, if your claim date is after the current date, that means that your warranty is expired. Sorry, if claim date is after the warranty date. So let's take this one. So first date is claim date and second date is warranty expiration date. So if the claim date is after the warranty expiration date, that means that you are raising the claim after warranty is expired. That is what I'm saying. If you are raising the claim after the warranty expired, that is it written true. So that is correct syntax only. So we are giving correct way. If you give reverse, right, the output also will change. So this written true or false. So here the claim date is after the warranty time, warranty expiration date, that is we are setting true here. So warranty type will be calculated and then submit. The same way we need to correct here as well. Now go to create one more case, or else let me open the existing case only. What is the case name? So I want to set this only when there is no value. Let's say whenever I can see his warranty is coming expired now because the warranty is expired in 2018. Let me give some old value 115. It is also not expired. Let's select 1. Now see your warranty is expired on October 5th 2016. That means that just 5 days before it's expired. Now it's saying is warranty expired? Yes. That means that our calculation is working fine. So here we are calculating. The main aim of here is I want to know whether warranty is expired or not. Here I am able to see the warranty is expired. So what should happen when the warranty is expired? When the warranty is expired, obviously we need to close the process. If the warranty is expired, there is no meaning of extending this case. So the warranty is expired. That's it. We need to reject the case. We need to reject the case here. So that is why when the warranty is expired here in the validate warranty, we need to reject the case and we need to jump to rejection. We need to jump to rejection. That's what we need to do. For that purpose, we need to write some conditions. Write some conditions here. So for writing conditions, so we use decision table. So we need to take decision. So the decision table we'll discuss now. So based on the warranty type, warranty expired or not, I want to, if you see, we have 4 types of decisions are there. So we have a lot of rules are there. Today we'll see fork and Boolean expression and decision table, decision tree. We will see in other next session. So we have predictive model and scorecard model. This will be useful for the DSM concept, the decisioning management. We don't use in the general PRPC application. The scorecard model and predictive model will be useful in the decisioning applications where you are using DSM. This is one other product from the Pega. So we'll discuss these
What about
things.
4?
Fork, that's what I'm saying. We will discuss that one, right? We'll see fork and Boolean expression, and remaining things we'll see tomorrow.
Okay, one question.
Yep.
Subhash, I think is 7.1.6 does not contain the fork, right? Fork and this fork.
No. Fork will be there. Fork will be there for each.
I saw only this one. Decision table, decision tree, map, and when rule.
You have when?
Decision table, decision tree, map, and one more thing is when, I think.
When?
Yeah.
I think when is also equivalent to the fork only. So maybe may change.
They might rename it, right?
So is warranty. So fork will be useful. If you want to build if-else conditions. Like when this is something true, so I have two options here. I mean, fork is useful when you have only two options, or one become true and the other becomes false. In that case, you can go for fork. Here you can write the when rule basically. The connector will take, you can see when is there. So when you select the fork, you need to actually build the logic in the connector, not in the relationship. So when you select the fork, you need to actually write the logic in the connector shape. So here I am writing the logic. Here I am taking when. You can write the when rule here. I'm checking check warrant. I'm checking here warranty expired. So for each connector you can write your own rule. So what happens is it will evaluate all the when rules. So let's say we have 10 outputs is coming from this. Let's say five outputs are coming like this one by one. So what system will do is system will start executing from the first one, and whichever becomes true, it will go in that direction. You don't have prediction there, because if more than one is true, so whichever first calculator that will become true, it will go in that direction. So this is a developer. If the developer should take the precaution here. If there are more than two are coming, returning true values, then it can go any path. It can go any path. Sometimes it may go this path, sometimes it may go other path as well, because we don't have control on that. So that is why you need to make sure that one is returning true, others are returning false values or something. So here I am checking warranty expired. This is a when rule. So this when rule, I will discuss this one as well. Let's see, if you want to write this when rule, all the when rules will return either true or the false. But you can build a complex conditions here. So if you want to write a simple conditions, you can build like this. Is warrant expired? I'm just stating true. If it is true, the when rule also, if this property is true, the entire when rule will return true values. If you have a complex conditions, like let's say if you want to write one more condition, so if you want to check two more conditions, let's assume. Then I insert condition and again do something. Let's say purchase data is something. Like that you can add any number of conditions. If you add one more condition, just insert the condition. Let's say some other value. So like that you can change. But if you want to change, if you can see the logical operators are coming. If you change one logical operator, it will change for others as well. But if you want to use combination, then go for advanced. If you go for advanced, you can see every condition, individual conditions are there, and each one is given some label. So they are named conditions. We are giving some name for each condition, and here you can see logic string is there. Here you can build whatever the logic string you want. You can check like A and B or C. Anything you can check. Like this you can build a combination of anything. You can add any number of conditions, and then if you want to build logical string, very complex logical string, you can check like this. But at any cost, the when rule finally will return true or false, because this is a logical operator. So at any cost will return true or false only. There won't be any other values. So in our case, we don't require all these things. I'm just showing the remove this one. Even if you refer A and B, you don't need to worry about system will throw an error. The system won't accept if you refer something say not present in the here. You can see B is not there, it's giving an error. So just remove B. So just one is fine for me. I have just one condition I need to check, warranty expired or not. So this is fine. So I am checking this one. If the warranty is expired, I want to go in this direction. If warranty is not expired, I want to go in this direction. I will go for else condition. Else means when all are failed, it will go for else condition. So here, if warranty expired, it will go in this direction. Else, it will go direction. So if the warranty is expired, what I want to do? So I want to jump to other stage. For jumping purpose, we can use change stage option. So change stage will be used, already discussed it. If we want to jump from one stage to other stage, I can use change stage. Here I want to jump from the current stage to rejection stage. Here you can jump. So select a stage, rejection, reject. If the warranty is expired, I am rejecting. If warranty is not expired, I don't want to do anything. I just want to go to next step. So I am using end shape here. This is how we can use fork. So let's try this once and then we'll change it to Boolean expression. I have to create the rule once again, case once again. The claim, submit. Here I'm adding one thing, generous, add to claim, submit, subcase will be created. Submit, purchase date. So I need to make warranty. I need to make sure warranty is expired. Let me select some old value to 1 year. So warranty is expired on October 1st. Warranty is expired. So as per our definition, when the warranty is expired, it should go in this direction. So if it is going in this direction, I am calling reject. Let's verify that. Submit it. I can see it's going for rejection. You can see the rejection is added. It's going for rejection. So our logic is, so dissolved is rejected. Okay. So like that you can reject it. If it is fine, this is fine. So Boolean expression is also same. So what returns the Boolean expression? So Boolean expression is required if you want to check only yes or no conditions. Otherwise, Boolean expression won't work out. So this fork or Boolean expression will be useful only if you want to build two outputs. That is fine. If you have more outputs, it won't work out. So here you can check simply conditions. This is the Boolean expression. Just you need to check the condition. Is, you can check directly here, is warranty expired equal to true. That's it. So this expression will return true or false based on the data, it will return true or false. It will return yes or no. So let me remove the append those things. Is warranty expired equal to true. You can see true or false are coming automatically. So because there are only two outputs for the Boolean expression. If it is true, means warranty expired. If it is false, means warranty not expired. Whatever you want to do, same thing again. Okay, that's how you can use the Boolean expression.
Isn't fork the same?
No, right? We are writing fork in the connector. If you observe here, the fork actually is in the connector, but Boolean expression we are writing here only. Logic we are writing here only.
The decision shape itself we are talking about.
Yes. Okay. So if you want a simple conditions, you can go for fork. That is fine because here that is suitable in this scenario. But in other scenarios, if you want to return some other values, different values, at the time you can go for decision table and decision tree. So how to use the decision table and decision tree, we'll see tomorrow.
Subhash, can you go for the Boolean expression?
This one, declare expression.
Just now you implemented one Boolean expression, true or false, right? In the flow.
Here, yeah. Okay. Just need to write here. I remove it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Not coming. Is warranty expired? Okay.
Yeah.
Any doubt here?
Yeah, that's fine. Click on submit.
You are talking about
Yeah,
this connectors
just-
not coming?
Yeah, just I'm checking whether connectors by default it's coming as true or false.
No, if already there, it won't come. If you remove this, it will come. Connectors are already mapped, it won't come. Let me go back to fork and let me go back to Boolean expression. Now it will come because we don't have connectors already. Now it will come true or false automatically.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, and one more question, Subhash. So most of the times, so to do the small calculations, we'll go for declarative rules and declare expressions.
For small calculations,
We'll go for the declare expressions only.
no, it's not dependent on the, I mean, we can do the same thing. So you need to decide that is what. So this is based on the decision. The developer decision should take here, because when you want to increase the user experience, and if you don't want to create multiple rules, you can go for declare expression rule. Because here, one rule is enough. Bother about when to call the rule. Let's say a simple example here. I'm writing warrant expired, some data transform. Here, the logic is simple, but I'm calling the same rule in 2 times. Whenever I change this value, I'm calling it. Right? When I change it, I'm calling the value. That means that I'm calling 2 times. But here, this in the declare expression, I have just created the rule. I'm not worrying about when to call the rule and whether it's calculating correctly or not. It's automatically calculating me and showing the data. So if you want to do something, generally it will be useful if the context is not there. Otherwise, you can go for procedural rules. So you can achieve the same thing using data transform as well, because we are not doing extra logic there. So whatever data transform can do, declare expression can do. So whatever declare expression can do, data transform will do. The only difference is, if you go for data transform, you need to procedurally call the rule. If you just create the data transform, it won't impact the logic, right? You need to call it. You need to call it somewhere else. You need to call whenever they change this one. So you need, that is called, you need to create the rule and you need to call it. If that is your requirement, then go for procedural. So if you want to dynamically call for the rule, you can go for declare expressions. And there is nothing like data transform is good, declare expression is bad. Everything is required, but based on scenarios, we need to choose that.
So both the performances are same or any variation is there?
Performance-wise, I mean, the data transform is better, because when you use declare expression, as I say, system will be using more resources on CPU time as well. But user experience will be good. User experience, whenever you change this, so you are automatically changing this value, that will be good. And here we have simple logic, that is fine. Even if you use decision table, declare expression or decision table or data transform, it won't impact much. So we have just 2 properties. Even if you go for data transform or even go for data declare expression, there won't be much impact. Okay.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we'll see the other decision rules. So our decision table and decision tree. But in this use case, we don't have any complex decision table, but we'll just show you what are the capabilities of decision table tomorrow.
Okay. And one more question, so suppose so if you're ordering the items, so there should be some purchase request and line item should be there if you wanted to calculate the line line item price and total quantity based upon the line items.
Mm-hmm. So
So yeah, if I'm going to order anything Walmart, so it will add item wise bill, and after that it will calculate total and plus taxes, something, right? So
yeah, you
that
can do.
case,
Yeah,
that
let's
case
say,
also can go for declare expressions.
yeah, that will be declaration will be good there because the logic will be very complex. Whenever you add the item, I want to calculate the total. Let's say, so here we are running out of time. That we'll see tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah. Bye. I'm happy this anyway.
Thank you. You too. Tomorrow class is there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And you are not going to take any holidays, right? For Dasara?
Yeah. No. Anyway, start after 9 only, right? Early morning we can't do anything.
Okay. Thank you.